Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to present you the Fairmile D 5001, and I promised it. Some people have requested it and wanted to know if this ship is worth it. The thing is this, on paper it actually doesn't look all that bad. In practice it doesn't really work that well, although it has many tools. You very often don't have the right, I don't know how to say it. They just don't work out the way that you might expect it. You have those two turrets of rapid firing 57mm 6-pounders, but they only fire HE. And the HE is problematic as it doesn't have the alpha strike, but on the other hand the rate of fire is not really that great. And on a further note, as you can see, the shell velocity with 655 meters per second is not the greatest, and your best advantage compared to some of the other ships is that you have a longer range. But to hit something at long range with this lazy arcs and actually hitting it, and with the precision, with the muzzle velocity, with the amount of lead, with the amount of time that the enemy has to dodge the shells, that is really lame in my opinion. It's not fun. In close quarters you get killed because you have, well, practically no armor except here on the bit on the turret, half an inch, and then your survivability, well, I think this MRAC is pretty hard to miss. But you have 4 torpedoes, right? Much like the American PT boat. Yes, you have, but as you can see here, you have 2 different types, and they are counterintuitive because the big ones are faster but have less TNT equivalent compared to the smaller ones, which are slower but pack more punch. So this gives you the option to make a double torpedo pattern with different speeds launched at the same time. Especially at longer ranges, there is a significant difference between the torpedo waves, and you can lock down a certain path 2 times and get out of the way. And your guns, well, they have bad firing arcs. Then you have a lot of 7.7s and 12.7s and this beautiful 20mm with over 4,000 rounds. However, I don't know where always the ammunition goes. You just fire 1 magazine and then you're out of ammunition, and it gets knocked out. So this is really bad. The ship is very fragile, it dies very easily, it doesn't have the DPM output, it doesn't have the alpha strike, and I want to demonstrate this now with multiple gameplay examples. Now I just want to show you how the ship does under very good situations, and to be honest, I didn't have a good gameplay for quite a long time. I didn't survive a single battle with respectable amount of kills or income or civil lines earned. So this is already a massive downside for me. It's not a very good grinding machine. Is it a better ship for late game? Probably. But I always want to see how good does a ship by itself and how good does it work. Here you can see I tried to take some pot shots at the enemy, which actually was in my favor, not engaging me, and I launch here the torpedoes in a double pattern, and you can see the speed difference between the torpedoes. My plan is now to go into B, capture it, and then potentially deal with all the torpedo boats, making some torpedo beats, and then hopefully I can ambush some destroyer, which would make for some good gameplay. So what is the problem of the ship furthermore? Well, it has a battle rating of 3.7. That is the battle rating of the first Tech 3 destroyers, and they are already so big and your HE damage output so pitiful that you cannot really deal with them. Also, you're only limited to HE with your 57mm, and your 20mm, no, it doesn't really do that. So you have to either torpedo them, or you have to go for a drive-by with the depth charges. But very often the secondaries are good enough on a destroyer to deal with you with ease. I tried it multiple times, it only worked once. But if somebody tries to depth charge you in a PT boat, you can revenge depth charge it. So here I tried to lay an artillery strike, orientate myself a bit on the minimap, and I'm about to get here the torpedoes, and as you can see, I'm not engaged. This is very preferable for me, but the gain that I get from it is nil. Now I try to lob here some HE shells at long range on this destroyer, but it's not to be. So 3.7 also means a potential up tier to 4.7. The highest destroyers are 4.3 though, so you see kind of a lot of nasty enemies on a very regular basis, which is not healthy for you. And that includes ships like the PR-159, to which I will come later. I have a very interesting clip for you as well. So you have a big ammo rack, you have bad firing arcs, you have also lazy shells, and you rely on lucky hits like these for a true knockout on a ship that was previously engaged. And just from the few 20mm hits that I received, I took now a lot of damage. Now I want to launch it torpedoes, but the one torpedo tube is broken. The system stays with this broken torpedo tube, and I have to manually switch to another one, but then it jumps back to the broken one. Manually I have to select another one, and then again it jumps back to the other one. That's slightly annoying, to say the least. I expect now here a torpedo boat to arrive, maybe for the revenge kill, the other one that I just killed. And I hope here to prepare my guns and hopefully gun down this destroyer. There are some fires going on, and let's try it out. Okay, he is at 3% crew. That's very preferable. The bow is unsaturated. 2%, 1%. Come on, yes, we got it. We got actually a kill on a 1939 big German torpedo boat destroyer hybrid thing, and he was previously engaged. So again, it was kind of a second line kill. I tried to lob some shells here, but a direct hit on the turret just makes the turret yellow. And from behind, just look at this. This is an S-38 or whatever you want to call it. And look, I have to hit every single section, of which this ship has 4, 3 times. Just my rear turret has now the firing solution, or the firing arc rather, and meanwhile he taka. He is not a very good shooter, so that requires me already getting 12 hits in, and every single shot needs to hit. And I have the perfect aim. Now ask yourself, can you do on a regular, reliable basis do the same? I can tell you, I can't. Again, here front hit on the very bow that has not received a single hit before. It doesn't color the bow, it doesn't drop the crew percentage, and I only had this one chance. So now there is a VS10, and now look, this is the first time that I used the 20mm. It does a lot of damage. I couldn't see anything because I was on fire, or I am on fire, and the smoke just denied me vision. And all the ammunition from the 20mm is gone. Where has it gone? Is this a bug? Is this just because I got again a very unlucky hit into the ammo rack? Well, sadly the Type 1924 got killed, and now I have the VS10 on my hot heels. I tried to, or he is hot on my heels. Oh god, my English. I tried to prepare here an ambush, and now we can see the difference between DPM and Alpha Strike. If the Alpha Strike doesn't work, you're dead. The next fight, as promised, is versus a PR-159, and it has autocannons, it has the same battle rating as you, and it does the job just so much better. And I think that the ships, how can they have the same battle rating? I don't understand. So here you can see with the first salvo that hit me, 2 sections got black. 2 sections. I think that's a bit much, and my hits just do little to no damage. Now I want to actually go bow in, because he also has only HE available, and I want to also put the island between me and him. He sets me on fire, does even more damage, and he again was not a very good shot. Again, I tried to get some torpedo patterns out there, some sort of line, hopefully he gets caught in the net. But also ultimately I want to go around the island, where then he might be preoccupied with some of my teammates, and I then can finish him off. A little bit of editing magic later, and there we are. And just look at this. I have him full broadside at rather short range where I can precisely aim. I let my 12.7s and 7.7s and 20 millimeters also fire by the auto gunners. I actually hit here the rear turret. Again, he whiffs the shots everywhere, but gladly is not hitting me. The front turret is also knocked out, so actually now let's kill him. Both guns firing. And there you can see not a lot of damage. It's actually the machine guns and machine cannons that do more damage. And oh god, that took way too long for my taste. With the next two clips, I want to show you that patience can pay off. But you have to be clear about this, that a lot of the other ships can do this as well. If you look at the minimap, I actually overextended here and I am here behind the island. I'm not pushing further. This is actually a map with a bit more room, but you guessed it, I'm not hunting here any sort of PT boat. I'm hunting enemy destroyers. I have 2 torpedoes left and I intend to make them count. So this is now very careful looking around the corner. So in the top right corner I try to see if there suddenly a bow appears and if I can react quickly enough to it. My finger is already on the S key to go full backwards. But I heard the destroyer, I saw the tracers previously. I was waiting here for 3 minutes and oh god, here he comes. And look at this, look at this, look at this. He's not really aware of me. I try to knock out the turrets, which I managed to do, and the 40mm secondaries just do an absurd amount of damage. And the torpedo is out. I keep the second one in reserve. If he tries to make evasive actions, I then hopefully can make it count as well. It looks like I have overlap, but the torpedo hits home hard. So that was a really nice kill on this destroyer. And now let's see what we actually can do if we can select fire the enemies, if we put ourselves into a strategic position when a lot of the enemies are distracted by shooting at some of my teammates. So you can see you're not really a direct offensive player, you're more a second line long range artillery support, but the effect is not really convincing. You have no armor, you are far away from the effectiveness of the MBK, which I absolutely love. And it's just so easy to use, where you can rack up the kills, where the 85mm just do so much damage, and you with your little pom-pom pew-pews, you are, I kind of feel like a stormtrooper in Star Wars. It's not really that exciting. I mean, it might look cool, but it isn't. So here we can see I try to lob in the shells. The rear turret actually gets caught by the island, and he's bow in. There is not much that I can do, and a few hits here with I presume 25mm guns, and I take massive amounts of damage from the Bolshevik here. The splash damage is also too little to make here the Oryx detonate. This was now a very lucky hit. I saturated 3 out of the 4 sections and the other one was orange. That was called a crew knockout, I guess. Now let's continue working over this guy, and you can see I hit here the front section. I cannot really aim for the middle section. That's really annoying. The bow already is damaged, my middle section is damaged, I don't have too much crew left. You can see I tried to hit the bridge and splash down into the middle compartment, but it just doesn't work. The 6-pounder doesn't have too much oomph. Now I wait and try to keep on target. Gun is knocked out, and now he makes the mistake. He angles away and I hit him. I immediately go towards firing at the other one, and the rear section of my ship is in cover. Now this is potentially the best situation that you can hope. It's rather difficult for the enemy to kill you reliable, although they always could ignite your frontal anorak, especially with either big HE shells or continuous fire of AP. And what can I do now to this guy? I don't have the splash to ignite the anorak, and all the sections are black. Okay, where should I shoot? Ultimately, I get here the kill assist, and that's about it. But that's not really exciting. And now, the enemy is somewhere else. So I have to leave the situation or I stay camping here. This is not exciting. I cannot really go for the capture zones. The short, it's mostly short range. If an SF-40 comes around the corner, I'm so dead. I'm so dead. And again, I missed the AP to actually go for the ammo rack. 2 hits into the middle section of this rather small PT boat, and he is only red. And he's not even on fire. So do you think that this is great? The ship just doesn't pay off. Let's have a look at another very preferable situation. After this kill, because he is again preoccupied with some of my team members, they get in the shots. I try to correct. Come on, bit shorter. And he is already burning, and we get the last hit in for the kill. Good stuff. Next one. This is now probably the last battle scene that I want to show you, because otherwise the video would become way too long. And I think you got the point by now. Those are very clinical situations where I was engaged either by single enemies or I was in a very preferable situation. I had the upper hand, and now I want to show you how the long range support works in theory. There are SF-40 Leichte, and they are terrifying. They just would kill you with one little burst of their up to 16-20 millimeters, accomplished by 37 millimeter, and I try to stay out of range of their effective 20 millimeter gun range of 2000 meters. There you can see it. He is close to it, but he can't just quite reach me. And the high explosive detonates then in mid-air, and the armor piercing just vanishes. And you can see I hammer him a lot with this 6-pounder HE. I get hits in, and he actually gets shot by another one, but I just can't reach the ammo racks. I don't have the accuracy even against this low moving target. Aiming is not that easy, but that's the best that I can do, knocking out the gun turrets and just trying to blacken every single section here to eventually hopefully kill him. Come on, 13%, 6%, another good hit. Yeah, I try to orientate myself here on the damage model in the top right corner, and then I get the kill assist. Okay, I'm fine with this. Ultimately, you will do damage, and it was actually now another ship that got the kill on it, an S-100. Okay, now here there is the second one, and yeah, VS-10 came from the rear and just torpedoed him. Great balance, comrade. But if it would have been a good player, he would have, saw the part, the VS-10, which is also pretty tricky. Now here there's the Bolshevik, and he gets just a few hits in, and I lose so much crew. Already I'm receiving a lot of damage, but gladly not to my main battery firepower, which I can now no longer intensify. This is the maximum that you can get out of, at long range, and I'm already spawn camping. Again, the map design, pitiful. There is no tactical play possible. There is just not so much that you can do. And while I could protect here C, imagine an SF-40 comes along, or an MBK, the Russian with the 85 millimeters, and he angles. I don't have armor piercing, I don't have the DPM output, and he just would double click me and I'm dead. And I am the British heavy firepower guy, so no, it's not really enjoyable. And yeah, I partially go here bow in. Again, I'm right at the edge of range for the Bolshevik with the 20 millimeter, with the 25 millimeters. It's such a fun ship to play, and it's also very effective. But in this ship, I'm just feeling outgunned. I'm feeling overtiered. I very often receive an up tier. Remember, the battle rating is 3.7. That's the same battle rating as the PR-159 and the first destroyers in general. I don't feel like having a chance against them. I don't feel like an MBK that can snipe ammo racks at long range and angle against high explosive and such. And here I tried to hit here the S100, but I ultimately only got a kill assist. But that's fine by me. At least I survive and I can continue the front barrage. At least in theory. Okay. So you can see the gameplay is not exciting. I don't rack up the dozens of kills that I can do in some other PT boats, where you can just move across the map with the Jaguar and 40mm anything into the next match. Look at the pitiful damage output. Look at all the situations that I presented you. You have to be in a preferable situation. You have to have both guns firing. The enemy must shoot at something else, and then you can potentially make the play. I rated the ship higher in the beginning when I first played it, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I had some lucky shots, maybe some lucky situations, but at the moment this is the best that I can show you. And I'm kind of sorry. I'm kind of sorry for all the guys who bought this instead of the Haida, which is a significantly better pick and really worth the money, which is also a great destroyer. So with me having said this, that's it for me today. Okay, that was kind of a very professional English, comrade. Okay, again, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this whole PT boat situation. If you have this premium, how do you play it? Are there some tricks that are overlooked? Let me know in the comment section, and subscribe if you want to see more. And as usual, we will see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.